SCP-6856 Object Class Euclid Special Containment Procedures SCP-6856 is to be contained at Site-56 in Nevada. SCP-6856 containment cell is to be constructed of Li-900 silica insulation tiles, but otherwise should adhere to standard humanoid containment specifications. Faux interiors and other cell decorations are permitted in SCP-6856 containment cell. SCP-6856 work chamber located beneath Site-56 on-site geothermal power plant is also to be constructed of Li-900 silica insulation tiles. The work chamber should only be accessible through an antechamber, which may contain lockers, vending machines, and other items requested by Dr. Olivia Stratton. The only fixtures permitted in the work chamber are a temperature gauge with a clearly labeled maximum of 500 degrees Celsius, a heat-resistant security camera, a heat-resistant intercom system, and SCP-6856 harness. SCP-6856 is to maintain eye contact with the temperature gauge during work shifts. As an enrichment measure, Foundation-approved radio programs may be played in the work chamber while it is occupied by SCP-6856. Foundation personnel are not permitted in the work chamber while it is occupied by SCP-6856. Description: SCP-6856 is a 23-year-old human male capable of raising its body temperature at will. The object also exhibits an anomalous resistance to the adverse effects of heat. SCP-6856 has a maximum temperature of roughly 500 degrees Celsius. SCP-6856 was recovered from Idaho, Nevada in the aftermath of a house fire. Local police noted SCP-6856's unusual resistance to heat, and Foundation personnel embedded within Idaho were alerted. Upon initial containment, SCP-6856 was fully cooperative with the Foundation, and continues to comply with Foundation requests and regulations. Because of SCP-6856's established history of cooperative behavior, the object has been selected for a pilot project. SCP-6856 possesses an existential fear of climate change and has expressed an interest in using its abilities to generate clean energy. This proposal was determined to be of mutual benefit, so a specialized work chamber was constructed at the facility's on-site power plant. Each day at 8 a.m., SCP-6856 is escorted to the work chamber by 2 armed guards. SCP-6856 remains in the work chamber for a shift of 8 hours, with a lunch break of 1 hour. SCP-6856 is well adjusted to this routine. Video camera footage starting at 2:37. SCP-6856 is in its harness, staring at the wall-mounted temperature gauge in the work chamber. The gauge's needle is gently swaying near the gauge's maximum value of 500 degrees Celsius. SCP-6856 is radiating with heat. This glow causes some mild distortion in the video feed. And dramatic music plays over the intercom. "You can do it, Private. The unit is en route. Just don't blink. Is there an ETA, General? I don't know how much longer I can hold out. Keep your eyes on the anomaly, Private. That's an order. I'll try, General." The sound of soldiers moving can be heard over the intercom. Through the distortion, SCP-6856 can be seen to close its eyes. "Go, go, go." The ambience and dialogue abruptly cuts, replaced by a monotone, feminine voice. "Attention, SCP-6856. Please monitor the temperature gauge." SCP-6856's eyes remain closed. "Attention, SCP-6856. Please open your eyes and look at the temperature gauge. Your attentiveness is crucial to helping the Foundation avoid a localized outage." SCP-6856 opened its eyes. "Thank you. We now return to your regularly scheduled programming." Triumphant music plays over the intercom. "We did it, General. Another disaster averted. Never underestimate the Foundation, Private." Video camera footage starting at 7:58. SCP-6856 and Dr. Olivia Stratton are in the antechamber. Dr. Stratton is seated at the research desk while SCP-6856 is seated at the bench in front of the lockers. No pains, aches, or cramps. Nope. Dr. Stratton ticks the final box on the pre-shift checklist and stands from her chair. "You're all set. I'll leave you to it." Thanks, Liv. No problem." Dr. Stratton pushes her clipboard under her lab coat and begins to leave the room. "Hey, did you donate blood recently?" "No, why do you ask?" "The Band-Aid." SCP-6856 gestures towards Dr. Stratton's left knee. "Oh, this is just a scrape." "Why, you thought somebody was taking blood from my leg?" "Well, isn't that mainly what they're for?" "Band-Aids, they're mainly for like scrapes and paper cuts and stuff. Have you ever used them before?" SCP-6856 folds its arms. "I guess I only normally see them when you guys are performing those tests. Plus my mom and I used to donate blood every month." "Every month?" "Yeah, she said it was our responsibility to help the people around us." "Well, on behalf of the medical community, thanks for your service. When did she get you to start doing that?" 17 years old." SCP-6856 shrugs. "Ever since I can remember, probably 4 or 5. "What?" Dr. Stratton is visibly concerned. "That's way too young. How did you not faint? Did they just take less blood? How?" Dr. Stratton is interrupted by the buzzing signaling the start of SCP-6856 work shift. Never mind, I'll let you get started." SCP-6856 watches Dr. Stratton leave the antechamber. SCP-6856 remains sitting until the noise from the buzzer ceases. SCP-6856 stands and begins to remove its garments, storing them in one of the antechamber's lockers. Now fully undressed, SCP-6856 proceeds into the work chamber. SCP-6856 straps itself into the harness at the center of the work chamber and turns its gaze towards the heat gauge prominently mounted upon the wall. The gauge's needle rises as the anomaly begins to glow. Video camera footage starting at 12:02. SCP-6856 is seated in the antechamber at the table in front of the vending machines. The object is eating its sandwich when Dr. Stratton enters. "Oh, hi Liv, is everything okay?" "Yeah, no, everything looks good. Do you mind if I sit here?" "Yeah, go for it." "Thanks." Dr. Stratton unwraps her own lunch and there's a pause. "I was just hoping to continue our conversation." SCP-6856 nods, its mouth full of food. "So did you really donate blood every month with your mom? Because that's really unusual, especially if you were that young." SCP-6856 shrugs. "It seems pretty normal to me, and it makes sense, right? Like our bodies can make more blood, so we should give as much as we can to those in need, even if it's a little unpleasant sometimes." No, when you put it that way, that does make sense. Did you learn that from your mom?" "I guess so." SCP-6856 continues eating. "It sounds like your parents gave you some old-fashioned religious guilt." "It was just me and my mom, and she wasn't religious." "So where does that line of thinking end for you? Because you can't just go around sacrificing your life for the good of others. At some point, you've gotta take care of yourself." "Well, no, not really, right?" SCP-6856 gestures at the antechamber. Dr. Stratton remains silent. "I'm trying to help save the planet. You've given me this opportunity here, and I'm taking on some responsibility." "Right, no, it's very admirable. This whole project is yet a good idea. It wasn't my idea, but thanks. Huh? Your file says the geothermal project was your idea, or it's implied. SCP-6856 shakes its head. But it had to be your idea. I remember that we started building this room before you came on site. This site director wouldn't have approved this project without knowing you would cooperate. I came here straight from Idle. The project was explained to me a couple of days after that. It seemed like a pretty obvious idea, so of course I would cooperate. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what to tell you. Agree to disagree. Yeah, that's fine with me. A glitch in the Matrix, I guess. What? A glitch in the Matrix? Have you ever... never mind. Dr. Stratton finishes her lunch and stands up. Thanks for indulging me, it's been a nice chat. I'll see you tomorrow. SCP-6856 puts his food down. Yeah, see you. Dr. Stratton leaves the antechamber, greeting the guard on her way out. SCP-6856 folds its arms. It stares into the distance, leaning back as it does so. Eventually, it stands up from the table, leaving the remnants of its sandwich behind. It paces back and forth for some time, before stowing its clothes in the locker and returning to the work chamber. Video camera footage starting at 5 o'clock. A buzzer can be heard, indicating the end of SCP-6856 work shift. The light emanating from SCP-6856 diminishes, along with the video distortion. SCP-6856 enters the antechamber from the work chamber, opens its locker and begins to dress. Now fully clothed, it proceeds towards the exit, but slows near the research desk. SCP-6856 stops and takes an unfilled pre-shift checklist from the desk. SCP-6856 turns the paper over in its hands. It runs the edge of the paper against the palm of its hand, and repeats this motion with increasing intensity. Eventually, it stops abruptly. A small cut can be seen on its hand. SCP-6856 raises its hand to eye level and inspects the cut, which continues to trickle blood. It stares intently at the cut, slowly rotating its hand to examine it from all angles. It replaces the pre-shift checklist on the researcher's desk and opens the antechamber door, greeting the guard outside. Hey, do you have a band-aid? Thanks. Yeah, sorry. Video camera footage starting at 8:26 p.m. SCP-6856 is in the harness in its work chamber. SCP-6856 closes its eyes. Attention, SCP-6856. Please monitor the temperature gauge. SCP-6856's eyes remain closed. Attention, please open your eyes and look at the temperature gauge. Your attentiveness is crucial to helping the Foundation avoid a localized outage. SCP-6856's eyes remained closed. SCP-6856's brightness rapidly increases, obscuring the details of the harness. Attention, open your eyes and look at the temperature gauge. Withholding your cooperation may lead to punitive measures being taken. The intercom continues to malfunction. The room is now mostly obscured by light. In the final moments of recoverable footage, the insulating wall panels begin to warp and melt. From O. Stratton at scpinternal.net to Site 56 Director at scpinternal.net. Subject: 6856 breach. Dr. Croft, I want to reiterate that I have no idea how this happened. My guys are telling me that he just walked through the wall, which should be impossible. Those tiles are rated for 1500 degrees Celsius, not to mention the fact that the room is under 10 feet of solid rock. There must be some kind of undocumented something that lets him go supernova. How have we not seen this before? And we've just given you clearance for some archive documents. Read those and then call me. Memorandum from Dr. Croft, Senior Researcher. We would like to identify a subject from the pool of available D-Class personnel for an up-and-coming long-term project. The ideal candidate will be female between the ages of 25 and 40, be mentally stable and sound, achieve a score of at least 65 points in the milligram obedience examination, have suffered a miscarriage or the death of a child with no children still alive, have a strong conviction in the notion of personal responsibility. Prospective candidates are to be made aware that successful completion of the 18-year project will result in the candidate being released into the general population with total indemnity and with their name expunged from official and internal records. Please let me know whether you have any questions. Your prompt reply is appreciated. Memorandum from Site-56, Light Containment. Dr. Croft, we have identified a particularly promising Class D named Data Expunged who fits the profile. We'll bring her to your office for briefing tomorrow morning. Memorandum from Dr. Croft, Site Director. After a successful 18 years of containment, SCP-6856 Ideal Project has run its course. The anomaly is insistent on doing its part as planned. On your approval, I will authorize construction of a facility on Site-56 specifically built to reinforce the psychological limitations that we have placed upon the object. This facility will also harness SCP-6856 energy, but no part of Site-56's infrastructure will be entirely dependent upon the anomaly. I will also initiate the shutdown steps for the ideal neighborhood, including discharging the anomaly's mother from Foundation care and transferring SCP-6856 to Site-56. Memorandum from O5 Command. Approved. Call transcript between Dr. Stratton and Dr. Croft, starting at 10:47. Is this a joke, Justin? I'm afraid not, because it seems like a joke. I know it's hard to wrap your head around. SCP-6856's temperature has no known upper limit. That's correct. So hypothetically, this guy could melt the entire planet, like as though we brought a chunk of the sun's core to the surface of the earth. No, we don't know, Olivia. We don't want to know what it's capable of. Why wouldn't you tell me about this? Don't you think it's important that I know I'm responsible for a freaking nuclear warhead? Genuine human interaction is essential to SCP-6856's containment. A facade like this needs a kernel of truth to avoid collapsing. First it was its mother, and until 20 minutes ago it was you. It's part of the ideal protocol. I see, and so what? Was I supposed to remind it of its mom? Do you have a revolving door of older female researchers to babysit him into compliance? It's a bit reductive, but yes, I guess you could say that. Christ. And look, Olivia, you've done good work. Your research hasn't been invalidated, just recontextualized. I'm sorry that we had to keep you in the dark. Right now we need you to focus on recontainment. Amnesticization is the priority, but first we need to find the anomaly. Okay, what's the status? Olivia, you're now on speakerphone. I have the Epsilon 9 commander in the room with me. Commander, do you have an update for us? Our aerial recon units found the tunnel exit. Glass in a radius around a pooling of cooling magma. There's no trail of glass leading away from it, so current thinking is that the skip deactivated after resurfacing. We've started a grid search in the vicinity. If the anomaly is on foot, we'll find it. Cover out there is minimal. Good. We want to salvage this situation, so avoid antagonizing the entity directly, even if you think you have a clean shot. This needs to be handled delicately. Understood. Olivia, we're gonna need your help. The anomaly's mother is en route. His fake mom? I thought you lost track of her after she was freed. Nope, we've got her, but she'll take a while to get here. Until then, you're the anomaly's closest emotional bond. Start thinking about how the mother should appeal to SCP-6856 when we find it. We only need a few seconds to trank the anomaly, but it has to be a sure thing. Okay, I think I've got something. Drone footage starting at 11:58. Arid planes are vaguely visible while the camera focus wavers unsteadily. After a few seconds, SCP-6856 comes into focus. SCP-6856 walks for some time. Data expunged comes into frame. SCP-6856 stops in its tracks. Mom? Hey, kiddo. Is it really you? Sure is. They said they told me that you died. I saw you. I saw your body. Oh, I know. How? Why would you leave me? I thought you left me to think I had. You know that I love you. I love you more than anything. I was only trying to do what was best for you. I knew you could do great things. I knew the Foundation could help you. Are you working with them? I would never do anything to hurt you. You know that. You know. How long were you working with them? Do you remember when we discovered that you were special? I went to the police and they didn't believe me, but I persisted. I knew that you were special. And eventually the Foundation, they reached out. They said that they could give you a purpose. They told me they needed your help to save the world. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Data expunged collapses. SCP-6856 rushes forward and embraces its mother. It's okay, Mom. Data expunged plunges a concealed syringe into the back of SCP-6856's thigh. There is silence. I'm sorry. SCP-6856 begins to glow. Data expunged screams. The footage distorts. The screams are cut silent. Glass forms in a radius around SCP-6856. The glow sputters and dies. SCP-6856's naked form collapses onto the glass. His mother is gone. Call transcript between Dr. Stratton and Dr. Croft, starting at 12:05. The skip is en route back to Site-56. We're pumping it full of Class B amnestics. It won't remember any of the last 48 hours. It'll wake up whenever you want it, Director. Excellent work, you two, Commander, thank you. So, what happens now? Am I supposed to return to my post? That won't be necessary. We would like you to stay on the project purely in an administrative capacity. You won't need to interact with the object directly. You're moving me behind the curtain. Screw that. You do have a way with words, Olivia, but this promotion, to borrow a phrase, it's an offer that you can't refuse. I think you'd be surprised. Welcome to the Fire Suppression Department, Dr. Stratton. The estate of Data Expunged has been remunerated $650 for her cooperation with this time-sensitive endeavor. Video camera footage starting at 7:45. Dr. Kyra Greaves is waiting in the antechamber. SCP-6856 is led into the antechamber, accompanied by an armed guard. Dr. Greaves walks towards SCP-6856 and extends a hand. SCP-6856, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Dr. Greaves and I'll be supervising your work shifts going forward. Okay, nice to meet you. What happened to Olivia? Well, Dr. Stratton has actually transitioned to another project. She didn't tell you. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, well, I'll be assuming her responsibilities from here on out. Dr. Greaves takes a pre-shift checklist from the desk and places it on a clipboard. Okay, how is your mood today? Are you feeling fulfilled, generally speaking? Yeah, I guess so.